Jeffrey Dahmer killed 17 young men from 1988 until he was caught in Milwaukee in 1991. Dahmer's life is the subject of a new documentary called Jeff. It's written and produced by Madison native Chris Thompson, who's with us tonight.
Hi,
Welcome
Chris.
to Live at
Hey
5,
guys,
Chris.
Mark, Susan, how are you?
Great.
Well, this is a dark chapter that most people would probably rather forget. What motivated you to make this film?
Well, I actually won the 2007 Milwaukee Film Festival, and they gave me some film and a camera and asked me to make a new feature film. And I really didn't know what to do. At the time, I was hanging out with another director in Milwaukee named Frankie Latina, who makes exploitation films. And he kept pushing me to make a film on Jeffrey Dahmer, and I think he wanted it to be like a really bloody slasher film. And I just wasn't interested in that. But the good side of what he was doing was he was bringing me articles and news clips and stuff like that. And as I was reading, I kept finding all these small little tidbits of people's stories that weren't really developed, but that were much more interesting than anything I had seen before. And what they were stories about the people that were around him in close proximity while he was doing what he was doing and as he was getting arrested.
And this is a documentary, but you have an actor playing Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, I don't know if people can see the clip on the screens, but that's an actor that's playing Jeffrey Dahmer in some of the, they're kind of called fictionalized scenarios. They're just sort of to offer a visual accompaniment to some of the interviews and take another aspect of this collage of this documentary that I put together.
And you interviewed neighbors?
Yeah, I interviewed his next door neighbor, who's named Pam Bass. And I interviewed the detective that took his confession over the course of 6 weeks. His name was Pat Kennedy, and then the medical examiner, Jeffrey Jensen, was the one who was responsible for extracting all of the stuff out of his apartment and making sense of all of the bodies and identifying the victim.
I think we have a clip of Pat Kennedy, if we can take a look at that.
And his eyes were, I mean, they were big. They were as big as saucers. Very unlike Officer Mueller. I said, Rolf, what's going on here? And all he could say to me was, go look in the refrigerator.
Wow, that is the moment. But I think what was interesting in this documentary is that you were explaining how Jeffrey Dahmer really had a normal life. He basically was a normal guy, and maybe that was, you know, the secret to his evil success.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't really interested in trying to figure out why he did what he did or what was going on in his head. That part didn't really interest me, and it had been done so many times before. What I really wanted to know was how did it affect the people that were around him, and how is it still affecting them today?
So the film is coming out soon?
I hope so, yeah. It's being submitted to a list of 9 or 10 film festivals, and then we're hoping, fingers crossed, for a premiere somewhere in the near future.
How long did you work on the film?
I've worked on it I started in May of 2008, so almost 4 years it'll be.
And were people willing to talk about this stuff, or were they reluctant to go back
Initially, they're a little reluctant. I think they've been approached so many times and they've been asked to tell this story so many times that they're a bit hesitant initially. But once they realized I'm from Wisconsin and that the part of the story that I wanted to tell was really about them and their lives and how it affected them, they were really interested in participating.
And there's a website people can go to, kickstart.com. Kickstarter.com. It's on the screen right there. /Jeff, and more information on the film and how people can help you along on your journey here.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Congratulations. Best of luck.
I
Best of luck
it.
to you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Chris.